Let's talk about the imitation writing brainstorm activity. So I feel like the first couple are pretty self-explanatory, right? What is an issue in society that you want to address? Why does this problem or issue bother you personally? Why does it need to be addressed in general? Like, why is it a problem in the first place? Who does it most affect? I feel like those are pretty self-explanatory, right? And then we come to some real possible solutions to this problem. You can either have looked up real solutions, so already proposed real solutions, or you can make up your own solutions, but ones that are actual logically possible solutions, not just ones that are like, your absurd ones. So then the questions that I have received so far have been about the logical explanations for absurd solutions. What I mean by that is your logical explanation should make sense for your absurd solution. So, for example, my problem that I want to address is ocean pollution. Okay, how I'm going to address that, my absurd solution is we will get rid of all plastic in the world. There will be no more plastic. So anything that's made out of plastic or has plastic in it, gone. That's absurd, right? Like, we can't do that. I would say 98% of this classroom would be gone. Okay, but here's why that solution is logical. Well, the majority of ocean pollution is plastic-based material. So if we were to get rid of all of the plastic in the world, then we would also get rid of the majority of the pollution in the ocean. So do you see how while my solution is absurd, I make sense to get to that solution? That is what I mean by a logical explanation for your absurd solution. All right. And I ask you to have at least two because I want you to have options when you go to write your own modest proposal essay. But I also want you to think a little bit more about really what makes sense, what is logical versus what is not. Another one that students had questions on in my other sections were like 9 and 10. Those experts. In a modest proposal, Jonathan Swift uses experts to make his argument seem more legitimate. So he says an American acquaintance that he met in London. He says a French physician. He says the merchants. He says a worthy and loyal patriot, a true friend. Right? So they're his experts, but he never gives us a name. He never says exactly why they're expert, except that, his American acquaintance knows about eating babies, and his French physician would know all about the number of babies because he's a doctor. So obviously he knows about that. Merchants would know about how saleable, I can't remember the age group. What was it, like 6 to 12-year-olds are or something like that? Because they're merchants, so they deal with selling and trading goods. So you see what I'm saying? They're experts, but they're not. So going back to my problem and my absurd solution, some of the experts I might use would be like an eminent marine biologist, renowned around the world for his work with sea anemones, has said that this would work because. I made it up, but that's the point. Is the expert, does the expert make sense for what I'm arguing? Absolutely. Is my expert real? No. You want to use statistics. Do your statistics have to be real? No. But if they aren't real, then they should also be absurd. And extreme. So, 1,212% of the ocean's pollution is plastic-based. What? Right. It's absurd. But is it a really big percentage that now you'll look at and you're like, whoa? Yeah, absolutely. If you want to use real statistics, you absolutely can use real statistics. But the real statistics you use should be mixed in with your fake information so that it's really hard to tell what's real and what's not. That's part of the absurdity of the solution and the issue that you're addressing. Oh, your evidence. That goes along with the statistics. Your evidence doesn't have to actually be real evidence, obviously. But your evidence should be, it should go along with your logical solution. I mean, your logical explanation of your absurd solution. Does that make sense? So like I'm talking about the amount of plastic in the ocean. Well, that's part of my evidence of why plastic would work, or getting rid of plastic around the world would work. So now I want to talk about what material has plastic in it. So what material would I need to get rid of? What, I don't know, what other people would be part of getting rid of all of the plastics in the world? What companies would be affected? What could they use instead of plastic? Sure, why not? They can use metal, absolutely. But do you see how it's like, it's absurd, it doesn't make sense, but hey, why not? Now, we then come to discussing real options, because when you write your essay, you're not going to discuss your real options until the end of your essay. When you discuss your real options, you really only need one or two, but they should be real, like actual real solutions. So if I wanted to actually offer a real solution to the pollution in the ocean, then one of my real solutions could be exactly what Long Beach Island is doing, what Manahawkin and Stafford Township, were doing before the pandemic, getting rid of all plastic bags. It's really that easy. Reusable bags. No more plastic straws. Yeah, paper straws stink. They disintegrate if you let them sit for too long. But like, if you're leaving your straw in your cup for that long, what are you doing? Like, or what Starbucks has started doing. Starbucks has got, unless you get something with whipped cream on it, Starbucks now has a new lid. It's like a sippy cup lid. Yeah. They don't always give you straws with your sippy cup lids. They ask because some people get very upset when they don't get a straw for their Starbucks beverage. But like when I order my Starbucks, if I go to the window or whatever, I ask them for the sippy cup lid instead of the one that they have to put a straw in, because now I'm not using a straw. So those are real solutions that would actually, or do actually, help decrease the waste, the plastic waste that then ends up in our oceans, right? Real solutions. All right. So then we come down to the titles. Your title must start with a modest proposal. That is the beginning of your title. It must start a modest proposal. It can be for X, Y, and Z, to X, Y, and Z, in order to X, Y, and Z. All right. So the example I gave you on the brainstorming activity is a modest proposal for the prevention of plagiarism among the senior class and therefore increasing grade percentages and graduation rates. All right. If I want to go along with my ocean pollution problem that I'm addressing, then I can say a modest proposal for decreasing the amount of plastics polluting our oceans and offering other companies who make other materials a chance to succeed in a world market.